clean up on aisle 4.
Son of a... What's good, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Between the Aisles. I am Shawn, one of your hosts. With me is my lovely girlfriend and co-host, Kristyn. How are you? How was your week?
It was a rough one, I'll be honest.
Yeah?
This week kind of takes the cake, I think. Yes, there's been new lockdown announcements, but even before that, it was just a wild week.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think for both of us, how about
God.
you? I know we've kind of spoken a bit about yours. But
I have somebody who rivals Angry Funko Man for my least favorite person I've had to interact with of all time.
Coming up close on that.
For a totally different reason than Angry Funko Man, too. Like, it was wild how different these two are and how much I hate both of them still.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Do you want to kick it off then? Do you want to say, do we have a theme for the week?
So I kind of had the idea to share some of our grossest retail stories. I personally have just worked a lot of shitty jobs, so I have a lot of disgusting things that have happened. So I may have to trim that back a bit. I know you have some pretty good ones too, just not quite as many. You seem to work around more sane people than I do.
No. The people aren't more sane. The trick is, the second I hear something may involve poop, vomit,
a lot of my stories, you guys.
Pee,
a lot of my stories.
Smelly human beings.
Yeah.
I somehow managed to turn and walk the exact opposite direction and get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
I just don't deal with it.
Yeah.
I don't know how. I have like a sixth sense that I know something's about to happen and I just fucking cut and run. But, okay. You said you have a couple. Do we want to start with some of our gross stories or start with... I have a story from this week.
That you're just itching to tell. I feel like you can't contain it, so maybe you should... Do you want that to be our finale, or do you want to...
No, let's start. Let's start with a bang.
Take us out running. Also,
back at it.
With those no boats on Sundays.
We need them, chat. We need them.
You're
not chat. One. I'm still in Twitch streamer mode. It's fine. Twitch.tv/noisemonster.
Okay, enough of the plugging. Let's go.
Okay, so I don't have a clever title for this lady because the saga of this ended today.
The thief.
No.
The wannabe thief.
No. I don't know what to call her. I'll think of something as I'm talking. We'll come up with a name.
I feel like this is basically your Karen of the week.
Yeah, this is my Karen of the week. Absolutely, by far.
Yeah.
Okay, so this actually started on Thursday. It started on Thursday. It's even further back. So I'm getting ready to close the shop. This lady comes in and she wants to rent one of the VR headsets we rent out. I'm like, okay, cool. I'll get you set up. Though it is a holiday, so I'll give it to you today. You can have it Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Bring it back to me Monday because I know it's a holiday for the long weekend. So you can take it home. You know, I won't charge you anything extra. You get 3 days, 3 full days, which is what she paid for. Mm-hmm. And then the 2 kind of grace days to drop it off and pick it up.
Yeah. Being
extra nice, right?
Yeah.
I think that's fucking lovely of me.
Super generous.
But this lady, I kid you not. So she has it. Everything's fine. I forget about it for the weekend because I don't have to deal with that shit. It's not my problem. And everything went into lockdown. I told her before that, hey, we are shutting as of today when she picked it up on Thursday. I told her we're shutting. We're going to be closed. So you're not... I'll have to meet you at the store, open the store for a little bit, and get this back from you on Monday. Is that okay with you? Yeah, that's fine. I live pretty close by. It's all fine. I'll meet you on Monday. No worries. Doesn't Sunday night roll around, and I send it, or Sunday afternoon roll around, and I send an email being like, hey, when do you want to meet on Monday? Give me a time and we can meet up. I fucking hear nothing from her. Nothing. She just goes to me.
Insert
right?
Crickets.
So somebody else had also rented out a headset, did the same thing for them, but they sent me a message immediately and were like, hey, no worries. I'll meet you at this time. I'm like, cool. You're awesome. This other person, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. So I sent them a text as well, and I gave them a quick phone call just to be like, doing my due diligence. I'm like, maybe they didn't check their email. Yeah. Maybe they did this. I don't want them to... I don't want to get them late fees or anything on this because I didn't reach out in some way, shape, or form, right? Like, I don't want them to say this was my fault, so let me make sure I'm doing all the things. Doesn't answer me on anything. Not a goddamn thing. Right? Then Monday rolls around, pick up the headset from the one person, send the other one a quick text, try calling them again. Fucking phone's disconnected. It's this number is not in service. Please check the number and try again. I'm like, uh-oh. Things are sketchy. She hasn't answered her phone. It's disconnected. She has a $500 headset, and I have no way to contact this woman. She's not answering anything. So I called my boss. I let him know. I'm like, okay, this is what's going on. I got an email from this fucking lady at, like, I want to say 10. I can check. I'm not going to check. It'll take too long. I want to say, like, 10 p.m. on Monday. Being like, hey, sorry, I was out of town. I can drop it off tomorrow. I'm like, okay, cool. That's fine. Let me know when, so that I can arrange to be there and get the headset from you and all that stuff. Right? So I'm trying to be courteous. Fucking ghost me again. This bitch doesn't answer.
The ghost. Oh, that's her name.
The ghost.
Ghost Gal.
Yeah. Oh, the epic of Ghost Gal.
The epic.
The saga. The saga of Ghost Gal. That's the title. But this lady ghosts me again. Right? Eventually, on Tuesday now, I get an email, not a text, not a phone call, a fucking email. From this lady. What the fuck is wrong with you? From this lady. I tried calling her a couple times. Whatever. I get an email from her. And she's like, hey, it's 5. It's 5:30 at night. And I get an email saying, hey, I can meet you at 7. I'm like, well, the fucking mall closes at 7. Our SAR's not even open, so it'll have to be right at 7. You'll have to be there right on time because they won't let you in the fucking doors if you're late. I'm
accurate.
Like, so I show up at probably 6:40. 6:45-ish, just in case she got there a little early, because I did give her that warning, being like, hey, watch out. You gotta be there early. You gotta be there on time. Fucking get your shit together. You're gonna start to get late fees, right? So I show up there a little early. This lady,
Karen!
Fucking ghosts me again. Fucking nothing.
We're gonna put a tally up here.
Somewhere, probably up in this corner.
We're gonna put a little tally of how many times she's ghosted.
So she ghosts me again. So I'm messaging her. I'm calling my boss. I'm like, I can't get a hold of this lady. I don't know what to do, and she's wasting my time because we are closed. And I only said I'd pick this up to be nice.
You
and
literally drove to the mall.
Yeah, I went out of my way to do this. Right? And I told this lady it was closed and this would be the case.
So she knew.
She knows she's inconveniencing me. Mm-hmm, right? Mm-hmm.
Honey, don't care.
Not even a little bit. So this lady, where was I? Oh, it's 7:05, I want to say. I check my email again. This bitch emailed. You know what she sent? I'm going to put a screenshot with her name blacked out. She fucking sent, hey, sorry I can't make it for 7. Sent at 7:04. Bitch, I know you can't make it at 7. I'm sitting here waiting. I got nothing else to do, so I'm scrolling my phone. Who in their fucking right mind waits till after the time has passed and then goes, sorry I can't make it at that time. I'm like, that time has already passed. Obviously you can't fucking make it in the past. Do you have a time machine? Can you see the vein on my neck throbbing out because I'm so fucking angry? So anyways, she wastes my time. She sends another email really quickly after. Hey, can we meet at 9 a.m. tomorrow? I'm like, no way she's fucking showing up at 9 a.m. No fucking chance. If she couldn't make it at this time and this time and this time, no fucking way she's waking up in the morning and showing up there. No way. So I'm like, I come up with a clever excuse. I'm like, hey, the mall's not even open till 11. Why don't I meet you at 11 at the mall? Right? Totally reasonable thing to do, right?
Giving her lots of extra time to get her shit together in the morning.
So I go to bed. I tell Kristyn a little bit about... you've heard up until this point.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know the rest of the story now.
Oh, there's so much more.
I'm really excited. I'm not going to lie to you.
This lady, I wake up. I'm like, I'm in a good mood in the morning. I'm like, we're getting the headset back. I'm going to not have to deal with this anymore.
Optimistic.
Problem solved. It'll be great. I'll get home at like maybe noon, you know. Maybe she'll run a little late.
Yeah.
So I'll get home by like noonish, and then I'll have lunch. I'll get to sit outside and read my comic books because it's Wednesday and I wanted to sit outside and read my fucking comic books. But this bitch ghosts me again.
Ghost cow.
Again, I emailed her in the morning and I was like, hey, I emailed her when I got to the store a little early again because I was like, maybe she'll show up early. I got to make sure I'm there. That way she's not waiting around or whatever. And she just doesn't show up. No message, nothing. So now I'm frantically calling her and emailing and doing all these things. Her phone's still not connecting. She sent me a new phone number that swapped 2 digits because that made a difference. That one finally fucking connects, so I can leave voicemails now. So I'm leaving voicemails like a motherfucker, texting her and emailing, all while also calling my boss. Right? Because I'm like, I don't know what to do with this. I'm wasting so much time. I just want to be at home.
We can't afford that much gas.
I just wanted to be at home. That's all I wanted. Not too much. I'm not being paid for any, like, this wasn't paid time I was supposed to be there. I was trying to do something nice. Well, fuck me. This lady, I swear, I gotta.
To anyone watching or listening who knows the song No Good Deed from Wicked, it's very relevant right now. Sean doesn't like musicals like I do, but I'm gonna force him to listen to this song because it perfectly reflects
I am just raged right now.
all of this.
Okay, so continuing on, I wait around at the mall for an hour.
Oh, did you?
I wait around at the mall for an hour.
A bunny hair just
Shh. An hour! A goddamn hour! It gets to 12. I text Kristyn, fuck this, I'm going home.
I'd like to point out, guys, I'm at work, also in this same mall, this whole time, getting these text message updates and alerts from Sean, but we were super busy, so I wasn't really reading them at the time that he was sending them, so on my lunch break, I look back at my phone, and I just have this sequence of, this like,
wall of messages.
6-7 messages from Sean, just documenting this whole chronicle of events, and it's...
So I wait around for an hour in a store in a mall, the mall being open, the store not, so it looks super sketchy that I'm sitting in the fucking dark in a mall with people walking up to the door kind of waving to me going, no, we're not open. Real shitty of me, feeling like an asshole because I'm not letting anybody in because I'm not supposed to because we're not fucking open. Anyways,
COVID. People...
it hits 12 and I go, fuck this, I'm going home. I call Vic, I'm like, you get a hold of this fucking lady because I'm going home. Right?
His manager. He called his manager.
Yeah. Sorry. So I'm on my way home, right? Stop by the comic book store. I have a nice little chat with the people in the comic book store. I'm starting to feel better again. I'm like, I'm going to put all this behind me. This is all in the past. Today's not an issue. No fucking way she answers the rest of the day. I'm going to go home, read my comics in the sun, maybe have a beer, have a good afternoon. The second I walk in the fucking door. Of home. It's now 12:30. I make the mistake of checking my email. This bitch at 12:32 emailed me, didn't call, even though I gave her my phone number as that call. Didn't text, again, had my phone number, none of that. Fucking sent me another email saying, I'm on my way, 20 minutes. So me being the person I am, I'm like, fuck this. I can finally end this. I'm not going to get dicked around tomorrow. We're dealing with shit today. Right? Drive my ass back to the mall. It is now basically 1 o'clock. Right? It's 12:50. Right? So I kind of matched her time when she said she would be there. I was just about getting there.
Yeah.
I get there, kind of open up, like, walk in, get myself planted in a seat again. And I'm just kind of waiting around. Send her an email saying, hey, I'm here. Let me know when you're here. Nothing. Fucking nothing. I call her. Leave a message. Fucking nothing. I send her another text. Nothing. It's now 1. It's 1:30 now. Send her another email. Fucking nothing. I call her again. Finally, she fucking answers. She's like, sorry, I'll be there in 10. I'm like, it's been a half hour since you said 20. Is 10 now 3 hours from now? What's going on? So I'm like, okay, I can wait another couple minutes. That's fine. Kind of plant myself. Sitting there blasting death metal off my fucking phone to try and relax me somehow, but also make me angry as a motherfucker. Right? So I'm waiting there. I'm waiting around. I call my boss again. I'm like, dude, she's not answering my calls anymore. It's now, I want to say, about 2:15 or so. She's not answering my calls again. I'm like, okay, I'll call from the store phone. Fucking nothing. I'm like, Vic, call her. Call her from a number she doesn't already fucking know. Vic calls her, and she's like, oh, I'm sorry, I'll be there in 20. I'm like, it's been an hour and a half since you said 20 the first time. It's been 3 hours since you said you'd be here. I can't fucking fathom. You know we're closed. I don't understand what is happening here, right? So I'm freaking out. I'm calling my mom. I'm so fucking angry. I'm like, Kristyn's not here for me to bitch to, Mom. You're the one. You're fucking it. She got an earful. I'm just sitting there like, this lady is insane. She's wasting my time. She's got no respect. What the fuck? I'm going to fuck off. It hits, I want to say, 12:30. And finally, she's like, I call her again because Vic got a hold, my boss calls me back and he's like, hey, I got a hold of her. She's on her way. She should be there soon. Maybe checking in a couple minutes, but yeah, well, we're obviously going to compensate you for this and stuff like that. I'm like, thanks, Vic. I appreciate that. That calms the anger in my soul just slightly. But now I hate this bitch with a passion.
I don't even know you, but I hate you.
The thing, too, before I move on, she came in after closing. And I did all this and tried to be nice. She came in at 7:05. We closed at 7. I just didn't get to the fucking gate quick enough. So it was strike one from the fucking start. I didn't want to do this.
Set the whole tone.
Then she was in there and I'm like, I guess I gotta. I put on my fucking customer service face. Anyways, so she's on her way, right? So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna call her, and she said 20 minutes. I'm gonna call her at 2:30 exactly and ask her where the fuck she is, right? So I call her at exactly 2:30, and she answers the phone with so much goddamn sass. I'm like, hey, this is Shawn. Where are you about? So I'm still waiting around. She's like, yeah, I just spoke to your boss. I'm on my way. I'm on Bond Street or whatever the fuck. Mm-hmm. I'm like, all right, first of all, you don't get to fucking sass me at this point, all right? Fucking done with it, all right? I'm like, okay, cool. See you in a minute. Hang up. Because at this point, I am fucking livid. I'm swearing on the phone to my boss.
You've wasted 3 days of your life.
I have never sworn in front of my boss.
Yeah, that's
I'm
new.
pretty damn professional. And at this point, I am calling him going, Vic, I don't know what the fuck is going on. And he's like, I don't know either. Everything's on fire. Right? So I'm like, I call my boss immediately after to be like, hey, don't call her again because I just spoke with her because I don't want her being agitated with me when she gets here. I want her to literally hand me this shit and walk away.
Me, pay your fucking late fees and get out.
Oh my god. But phone hush, I'm in the middle of something. But yeah, so she shows up another 20 minutes from then. It is now 2:45. She finally shows up. I'm sitting in the back. Pretty long store. Lights off except for one. She walks up. And I'm sitting somewhere so that people can't see me being creepy or whatever in the back of the store, just sitting there scrolling TikTok like a fucking zombie, right? So I'm sitting in the back of the store, lights off, but I'm sitting kind of behind a curtain because the sensors it doesn't matter. You guys don't care. But I'm sitting kind of back there. I can see her through this fucking curtain, walk up to the gate, which is closed because we're fucking closed. Then I told her we were closed and I'd have to come meet her. Just kind of look around and bolt back towards her car. I'm walking up to the front already, like, what the fuck? She's bolting. I, like, try and call her as she's walking away. She's just bolting out. And I'm like, oh, what the fuck am I doing? What the fuck? She's still walking out.
What?
Yeah, this bitch is walking out. So she makes it all the way back to her car, calls me, was like, I got there and it was closed. I'm like, I know it. I literally told her, I know it was closed. I told you it was closed. I was walking to the front as you ran away from me quite quickly and tried to call you and you did not answer. She's like, oh, okay. I'm like, yeah, bring it back in. Hang up, right? She calls Vic for some reason at that point and tells him that I should meet her at the car or at her car or some shit. I'm like, no, Vic. She's coming inside. I'm not gonna waste more time trying to figure out which fucking car.
Oh my god, wander the parking lot aimlessly of a freaking mall.
I'm not about to do that. I'm not in my work uniform or anything anyways. I'm just a random person wandering the parking lot. How
looking
fucking
in people's
stupid is
car
that?
windows like,
I'm not about to do that. I'm like,
you?
no, she's coming inside. I'm not dealing with this. She finally comes inside, right? And I was walking towards the parking lot because I'm like, she's gonna pull some shit again. I'm gonna be somewhere where I can see her coming. I recognize her, obviously, because I dealt with her the other day, and she has the headset case. So I'm like, I will 100% know this lady when I see her, right? I catch up with her at one point, right? She doesn't even make it to the store because I'm like, I'm not letting her get to the gate, it's closed, and walk away again, right? I catch up with her. She's like, she kind of hands over the headset. I'm like, oh, how was it? Was it good? Yeah, grit through my teeth. Okay, I'm glad your kids had fun. Then she goes, yeah, I asked if we could rent it, extend the rental while I was on the way here with it because I was driving my niece somewhere and she didn't know. She was like, oh my god, you have a VR headset? And I was like, yeah, I had a VR headset. And in my brain, I'm just sitting there thinking, bitch, you don't have a VR headset. You rented one, you dumb fuck. You don't have one. Don't lie to your niece. What the hell? Right? So she was like, yeah, and I asked if we can rent it, and they said, it seems like it's already been rented out again, huh? I'm like, good job, Vic. Good job. Good play. Good play.
Good.
Don't make me the bad guy in this one.
Yeah.
Don't make me tell her she can never rent this again because she's already 2 days late and now inconveniencing me like crazy. If we had somebody else that rented it out immediately after.
Did she pay the late fees?
Oh, I'm getting there.
Oh, no.
There's more.
Oh, no.
So I get the headset back. I'm like, oh, yeah, somebody already rented it out. I'm sorry. She's like, this one? I'm like, yes, this one. Yeah, I'm just going to agree to everything because I don't want you to take this away from me because I'll have to try and deal with all this shit again.
Yeah, no.
So I finally get the headset and she's like, well, do you know if there will be any late fees? I'm like, well, yeah, there will probably be at least 2 because you were supposed to bring it back on Monday and you didn't, and you were supposed to bring it back on Tuesday and you didn't. We finally got it back today, so there shouldn't be another one for today, but there's going to be the 2 probably at least, right? She's like, oh, well, when I took it home on Thursday, it wasn't charged at all. I'm like, well, I'm sorry, but that doesn't really matter because you only paid for Friday, Saturday, Sunday anyways. You had all of Thursday for free to charge it.
Yeah.
To which she's like, but it was dead. I'm like, but you had 5 days and you only paid for 3.
Yeah.
I don't see where you're trying to pull the high ground fucking card on me here. I was the one you dealt with. Yeah. I know exactly what was happening.
Yeah. You knew exactly what product you gave her, in what state it was in, when you gave it to her. Oh,
I didn't know what state it was in. Because then she goes, oh, well, and the charger was broken. I had to use my own charger. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know the charger was broken. She's like, yeah, there was a slice in it. To which I'm like, okay, maybe this isn't her fault. Because we have bunnies. And I'm like, maybe they chewed it. So I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. But, I mean, using a charger is not a big deal. And she's like, yeah, there's a big split in it, and I had to use my own. I'm like, I don't really care that you had to use your own charger. I don't. No, sucks. Sorry. It's a USB-C. Those are super common. Everybody has them.
Yeah.
So kick rocks. I don't care at this point. And then she was like, well, is there anything, so there will be late fees? I'm like, yes, there will be late fees. You are going to have to pay for the extra time that you had this thing.
You're a grown-ass woman. You're an adult living in an adult world. This is how shit works. It's a business interaction.
Then she says.
Oh, no.
Then she says, well, can we work something out? Because I don't have any money right now. To which I go, oh, I'm sorry, but it'll automatically come out of your account. There's nothing I can do about it. Because that's exactly how it's going to happen.
You already have her credit card information.
She's like, oh, but I'm already, like, I'm in the negative right now. I'm like, why the fuck did you rent this out in the first place?
Also, just saying, yes, they didn't buy a VR headset, but to rent it is expensive.
Like, it's $60. For the 3 days, she had a $67 charge. And then two $20 charges for late fees.
But for someone who claims to be in the negative and have no money, $67 is expensive.
Exactly. Undoubtedly. And for this lady to be like, well, can we work something out because I don't have any money? I'm like, you should have been on time then. You should have made sure you were on time. You signed a thing that said, if I'm late, charge me. And I told you up front, when I was giving you the headset, that, yeah, the reason we make people do this online, order it online, is so that we have a credit card. If it doesn't come back or if it's late, we can auto charge you and get our late fees and stuff back. So I'm like, at this point, I'm like, I don't fucking, you'll have to call Vic. I'm not in charge of any money. There's
brain works.
Right?
Like, who thinks that that's okay?
Well, and who asks to extend the rental and then can't pay late fees?
Also, if you, like...
She wanted to extend the fucking rental. That would have cost her money. What was she gonna pay with? Fairy dust and good spirits? What the fuck? What was her plan of action at that point? Like, I'm not even fucking kidding. I was baffled that she had asked, hey, can I extend the rental? But I can't pay the late fees. You can't play both fucking cards, bitch. I don't believe either A, you're not in the negative and you have money to pay the late fees, so fuck you, we're not giving you any discounts or anything. Or you have no money and you couldn't have extended the rental anyways. In which case, fuck you.
Well, and also, like, it's just common sense to, as a human, to think, I am going to ask this person for a favor. So in order to have things go my way and to make them be more accommodating,
I should convenience them in some way, shape, or form.
I should kind of butter them up or, like, be extra nice, get them, like, in my corner.
Yeah.
Not just be a complete flake.
Yeah. And, okay, there's one thing I didn't mention. When I was calling her this morning, it was going directly to voicemail. Which means her phone was likely on Do Not Disturb and she was still asleep. If that's the case, I was fucking right to say no, not 9 a.m. because I would have wasted even more fucking time.
If you have an appointment with someone, set a fucking alarm!
Especially
You're an adult, you know how an alarm works.
Especially when it's going to cost you money. She has children. What the fuck is these kids' life like? It's just mom doesn't care when we do anything? There's no schedule? Just chaos? I don't understand. But then, okay. So then...
Sean's mind just...
Oh my god, this lady. I swear. Okay. Then, I finally get it back from her. I'm like, have a good day. Goodbye. Forever. I hope I never see you again. Ever. You will never rent this again, because I told Vic not to rent it to you again, because, again, if we had somebody lined up to rent it immediately after, we would have had to reschedule their appointment twice because you're a selfish bitch.
Yeah.
Right? That's what it comes down to, is that my time wasn't worth anything, but hers was.
Yeah.
And nobody else's time matters.
Yeah.
Right? So,
which honestly is one of the biggest problems in the customer service industry or retail in general is there's no reciprocation of just general respect. Like, I'm not asking you to be all giddy and friendly and, like, whatever. But if you want me to give you best customer service, the customer is always right.
You gotta be at least nice.
Then don't treat me like shit on the bottom of your shoe.
I don't even need you to be nice.
Just be decent. Just
yeah.
have some decency, you know?
Just some mutual respect. I'm not going to scream in your face. You're not going to scream in mine. Something like that would be fucking nice.
It really is, like, I mean, it's the backbone of this podcast. It's
100%. It's because everybody's a nightmare and you're all terrible.
And it's like, I feel like the only good customers
are the ones that are already out the door.
No. The ones that have or currently do work retail and know. Because they're never going to ask, like, to do something outside of the return period. They're never going to ask.
Because they understand that I can't. I have no power. Understand that I have no power.
Yeah, like they get it.
And oh god. So, anyways, getting back to my story. She's finally gone.
It's not over yet.
So I walk back to the store to check the headset and stuff like that and make sure everything is there and everything's working. Because at this point, it's been a nightmare and I wouldn't be surprised if something was missing. So I open it up and I check the cable. That's the first thing, the charge cable. Because I was like, did my bunnies do this? Should I be yelling at two small bunnies when I get home?
Your fur children.
It is very much not the bunnies.
Oh no.
It was 100%. It had to have been either her dog or her kids.
Really?
Yeah, because the bunnies, I've seen them chew.
Our bunnies,
I've seen them chew
for the record,
shit tons of cord. They do chew cords a lot. And that's why I was like, ooh, maybe they did that. Ooh.
But you can tell they have a distinct
They make a
chew
clean
pattern.
fucking cut.
One chomp and it's done.
Right? And again,
hundreds of laptop chargers have been lost to those teeth.
They might not cut it perfectly in half, but it's going to be a clean cut.
One clean cut. They have razor
This
teeth.
thing was a frayed ass hole.
Ooh, that's
That
like a
looked
cat
like,
or something.
I was saying, it looked like a cat or something chewed it.
Ooh.
And she kind of smelled like cats. Cats and cigarettes, which the headset now smells like. Super fun. I'm going to have to disinfect that shit. But yeah. So I checked that and I'm like,
Did you actually see... I have a question. Did you actually see her with children?
She had been in once before. She was kind of a Karen and a nightmare then. I
with
think
children?
If I recall correctly,
Okay.
she was the lady who was shocked that things cost $10. In episode 1, I talk about a Karen who was like, "Isn't it $8.50?" I'm pretty sure this is the same lady. If not, they look very similar.
Oh my god.
But so I'm pretty confident at this point that it was either her kid or one of her pets that broke the cord. To which, I mean, it's a cable. I don't really care that much. I'm done. It's a USB-C. You can get one for like $3 on Amazon.
But everything,
it's not that big a deal.
Everything about this interaction with her would make you think that it's definitely her just not
100%.
wanting to own up to it and pay the late fees.
100%. Then, I noticed something missing. Not something big, just the little charging block. You know the little bricks on the back of USB chargers? The little, I don't have one near me. It's just the thing you plug the USB into and then you plug it in the wall. That's fucking gone. So I'm like, alright. So you took that. You were, like, late by a lot. You made me wait days.
You were days late.
Made me wait around for hours when I could have been at home. Like, just an absolute fucking nightmare. So I told Vic, I told my boss, I'm just gonna keep, it's fine. I might bleep it out. We'll figure it out. I told him, you can't rent to this lady again. She's been a nightmare the whole time. And
you guys need like a blacklist.
And this is missing. And I also told him, I'm pretty sure that cable was not broken when I gave it to her.
You know how tech stores have, like, they will, like, just shamelessly post photos of shoplifters stuff? Like, that's what you legit need to do. People who cannot rent this equipment. Because,
it was such a clusterfuck. And again, the thing that boggled me more than the not caring about my time, because that's pretty standard for customers.
Yeah.
More than...
They think you have nothing fucking better to do with your life than to serve them.
More than the no answering on the phone.
Yeah.
Was can I extend it? Oh,
After
no.
all that.
Well, I can't pay these late fees. I have negative money. What the fuck? What was your plan to rent it? What were you going to pay with to extend it? Were you going to go more negative for that, but now that it's a late fee, it's... Oh, whoa. You mean my actions have consequences? Yes, they fucking do. And you're gonna pay those late fees, and those are gonna pay me because my boss went, I am so fucking sorry. You are getting the late fees that this lady has caused. I'm like, thank you, man. I appreciate it. That was my nightmare. That was the saga of Ghost Lady.
I'm just gonna put this out there right now. Nothing I could possibly say from this point forward in this podcast today could measure up to that.
I don't know. You got one or two that could. You might not be as freshly angry about them. But you got one or two that could. I know for a fact you do.
I say we leave you as the star of this one. This is gonna be a fully dedicated episode just to Ghost Gal Saga. And I say we call it there, folks.
We have a couple. We have a little bit more time.
That was
It's
a
only been
pretty
40 minutes.
hefty story to digest, though.
It was.
I don't know that the people want to sit through even more.
I don't know. Do you guys want to hear about poop? No, tell them. Oh, since I've gone for a long ass time, tell them about the test. Tell them about the test. That one's really fucking good.
Okay.
Okay, this is the test.
Are you sure?
Yeah, 100%.
Do we want to give these their own episodes?
No, we each get one story a thing.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
So give them one of them, and then next time we'll focus on yours. Deal?
Okay.
Okay. Any one you want. It doesn't have to be the test. The test could be next week. We could build the hype.
The test is a pretty good one. I kind of want to kick off next week with that one.
Cool.
I have so many. I don't know. So yours was a this week experience.
Yeah, mine
this
was
is a
today.
Very fresh, very recent.
Today I finished the saga.
I'm gonna take us back a bit.
Okay.
Throwing it back.
Okay. How far back we talking?
We are going back to my days in a clothing store.
Okay. Picture this.
I was in high
Kristyn,
school.
A young high school girl.
I was maybe 16.
16-year-old high school girl.
I worked at a clothing store that was specifically dedicated to young girls and stuff like that.
I made it sound creepy. You just name it.
I worked at Garage.
Yeah!
Okay?
Woo! Kristyn's name is Stores! Let's go!
It's nothing. Well, this is nothing bad against the store. This is the customer.
True. Garage
was actually pretty great. I didn't have anything really traumatic happen from the company itself. It was always just the customers.
So this does not reflect on Garage.
No.
Unlike Walmart, where it kind of reflects on both.
So, anyways, basically, I was at the end of my shift. So I had been there for, I had pulled like a 7-hour shift that day, and I was basically in charge of fitting rooms that day. And then at the very end, there was someone else in charge of like this, like managing the sales area. And at the end of the day, because I was closing, I had to go clean. There's like a clearance rack at the back of the store, and I had to just organize it because it gets super messy all the time. Basically, you just have to like rehang
and you gotta put some stuff back,
stuff that it just gets messy easy.
And...
Yeah. So I'm
putting
sense. Stuff away, and I get a whiff of like
Poop.
The just most nasty.
Poo-poo or pee-pee? Was it poo-poo or pee-pee? Poo-poo or pee-pee?
None of the above.
Come?
No! Stop!
I don't know! I'm guessing!
Let me talk!
Sorry. I have problems not being the star of the show.
I know! You're a bit of an attention hoe.
I really like the spotlight.
We all know. You can just sit there. Hush, hush. Just give me 1 minute. 1 minute. Okay? Okay. And then you can tell another story.
Oh, it's okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Go ahead. It's okay.
Okay. Come on. Come for a cuddle. Okay. It's okay.
I had a long day.
I was cleaning the sales rack.
Yep.
And I get a very nasty smell
Whiff.
coming towards me. So I like drop one of the shirts. I was on the bottom rack. There's a top rack and a bottom rack. One of the shirts, as I'm like organizing the bottom rack, falls to the ground. So I spread the clothes apart, like they're hangers. So I push.
Okay, was it one of the round hanger, like the circle?
Not a circle one. No, it was a wall fixture.
Okay, a wall
with
one.
rows of hangers.
I really need the scene painted for me.
So I if this is the rack for people watching, I just push apart like a curtain, like you're spreading a curtain, you know,
peeking in,
so that I can reach down and grab the shirt that fell off the hanger. splattered across the entire floor under the sale rack, like the clearance rack, like to the point where it splashed back up onto the wall. And all the clothes on the bottom rack were touching it because it was winter. So we had like long cardigans, jackets, things that basically came close to touching the floor. Someone just like yacked everywhere. They had gone, pushed apart the clothes, vomited in the clearance rack, covered it up with clothes, and just fucking left. Didn't tell anybody.
Who the
just
fuck? Who? Why? Who?
That was my first traumatic customer experience.
Really?
At Garage.
At Garage. Okay, not
At
your first
Garage.
customer.
Not, but...
Can we talk about... Next time. Okay, we'll do gross stuff next time. And then the time after that, first terrible customer experience. Or, like, customer service experience.
But I just told
Sorry.
my gross story.
But that was your first one at Garage.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have earlier ones?
Mm,
Okay, doesn't matter.
I don't know.
We're thinking out loud as we're doing this. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Continue.
you're throwing
Continue.
me off my track.
Picture it. Puke splattered all over. What color was it?
It was orange.
Why did I know it was orange? Why is it always orange? Why is all puke orange?
It kind of looked like, like queso. Yeah. But it was lumpy. It wasn't queso. Sorry. Trigger warning! Warning!
I don't know about anybody else.
Editing us will pop in for a trigger warning so that if there's it's an actual phobia. Okay. There are people who have actual phobias of even just hearing the word vomit. See, and like hearing that actually makes them have a panic attack or vomit. So
it almost makes me vomit.
I'm so sorry. I'm just gonna keep saying vomit, but I will put a trigger warning.
Listen, I've had my hands in rotting dead turtle.
Ah!
Rotting dead owl.
I look like a
I've had like because again I went to school for biology.
You need to preface that because this is a little sketchy. If people
I went to school for wildlife biology, and one of my classes was wildlife rehab. We had to learn how to like set broken legs and wings on birds and stuff like that, and they couldn't be preserved in any way, shape, or form. So they were frozen, and then they started to thaw, and they were old, so it started to smell. Whole big deal. But I'm coming back because I deal with a lot of that. I'm cool with that. The second someone fucking vomits on something, I vomit on something. I don't know what it is. It's the idea that it was in someone else's stomach and now it's splattered on clothing and walls. That's horrible.
Yeah. I had to clean it up.
Fuck off, really?
Yeah.
Did you not just throw out all the clothes?
Well, yeah, but you have to clean up the floor.
It was on the floor too. How much vomit was in this person?
That's what I said. It was. You weren't even listening to my story, man.
I was. You said it was dripping down the walls.
To your 35-minute tale.
You said it was dripping down the walls and stuff like that, but you didn't say there was a puddle.
I said it was on the floor. The clothes were touching it, and it splashed onto the wall.
Okay, fair point.
Were my exact words.
I misheard some things. I am
sorry. Check the receipts.
Nope, you're right.
Timestamps in the comments.
That does sound familiar. You're right. My bad.
So supportive.
Oh, shut up. Okay.
Yeah.
So what? Do you think it was queso? What do you think it was?
I think they were just hungover.
Did they go to Taco Bell?
Honestly, it could have been one of my coworkers. I don't know.
I feel like if it was okay.
It could have been anybody.
Okay. Now, there are public restrooms there that are very easily accessible that if you were feeling vomity, you could probably make it to, right?
If you had to do a lot of things in a restroom,
also,
you could make it to the restroom.
Also, if you were a normal human being, if you felt like you were going to be sick, go up to a fucking employee and go, hey, I feel like I'm going to be sick. Can I use your washroom really, really quickly?
And Garage is one of those stores where they always have, like, they're a very big company. And they employ a lot of people. So it's not like I ever worked a shift where it was like I was working alone or there was me and one, like there was always at least 10 of us on the schedule at one time because that's just the kind of store it was. It was a big store and there was a lot of us around.
I'm fascinated by this middle of the
I don't
mall
even know
puker.
how it happened.
Well, how did nobody notice somebody barfing?
Well, and that's what I'm saying.
Like
did
it's a
someone just
loud
come in and
process.
do it?
I don't know about
Like,
for everybody else, but when I barf, it's loud.
well, and the part that gets me is, like, it was kind of solidified by this point, so it may not have even happened that day. It could have happened.
Ew. Ew, nobody noticed it for days?
I don't know.
Oh,
I
God.
only worked part-time. I was only there a couple days a week. I'm just saying, it could have been. It was a little solid. It was kind of hard, which makes me think it had been there.
At the very least, it would had to have been there from that morning. Barf doesn't solidify quickly.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm just telling you what I witnessed. What I experienced.
How many customers do you think touched that?
Or
like
bought, or just like took a shirt off and tried it.
right? Like this is and then didn't say anything or didn't notice. Like it's one thing when I've seen you try on shirts or like I've handed you shirts and stuff to try on and I've seen like spray tan on them and I'm like, dude, this person uses way too much spray tan. They
I
must
hate
be,
that.
They must be
yeah,
orange
yeah,
as
yeah, yeah.
shit.
It's not
Real
necessarily spray tan. It could be foundation.
Okay,
you know?
doesn't matter though. Whenever I hand it to you, I'm like, okay, we won't buy you this one,
Try this
but
on,
at least
but
we'll know what size to get you, right?
Yeah.
And I can't imagine somebody not noticing barf on clothes and then going.
So like it could have
Oh,
been,
no.
it could have just happened right before closing.
Not if it was solidifying.
Okay,
No,
it's not
if
that
it was
rock
congealing.
solid. It was just
No,
like
that's old barf.
like the stuff on the wall wasn't wet.
That's old barf. Or unless
I knew
unless
it.
the person's barf was made out of fucking alcohol and it evaporated really quickly at room temperature, that's old barf. And that alcohol percentage would have to be like 80%. So that person would be dead.
This is a really good segue into our next week's episode where we are actually just going to focus
Oh yeah, it's gonna
on
be gross shit.
disgusting stories.
Oh yeah.
Sean kind of sidelined this episode.
I did,
but for good reason, because
I'm sorry.
when traumatic shit happens, like, that's why we do this weekly for you guys. Let us know if you like it
The weekly format?
Also, we the reason we do it this way is so that we can actually film it weekly. Like, we don't film it ahead of time. We film it weekly because we're still currently in our crappy retail jobs.
Oh yeah.
So this way, when we have fresh incidents
Material that we
happen,
can be like, hey, guess what happened today? It wasn't good.
So the podcast episodes won't necessarily all have a specific theme. Like, we can try like this gross story episode or gross stories episodes, thieve episodes, like things like that. But just know that we're probably gonna go off the rails a lot because it's just a lot of reacting to the things that we experienced this week recently as well.
Yeah.
So,
And I'm sorry I sidelined and took
no, it was great.
so
I
much of
love
our time
that.
today.
I mean, I don't love that for you, but
Look,
like,
me neither.
I love that story.
The first thing I said on my way home was, we got a good episode.
Yeah, I was like, okay, what happened? Like, because the last text message he had sent me left me hanging, and so
we have one car, so I had to drive back again to the mall to pick up Kristyn at the end of the day.
we had different shifts today. It was...
Yeah, I didn't have a shift today.
Yeah.
I was just there all day.
So much.
On my way home, GameStop got a re-up of Xbox Series X's. If you're listening, my fingers are very close together. I was this close to just buying one,
when
going,
people, like,
fuck it, I'll feel better now.
I was gonna say retail therapy.
No, I was very much like I fucking earned this.
Mhm.
This is my reward for this nightmare. I'm taking it home. I'm gonna have a great night. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
I did not.
Yeah.
Still with my base Xbox One.
But hey,
Feeling real sketchy.
make sure you like, subscribe, share this podcast, because then, hey, I can buy my own car, and you can get an Xbox.
We're not that money hungry. We just hope you're enjoying and relating. But yeah, please like and subscribe. If you've had a similar experience, I really, really
Share
want to
it.
hear about it. Leave a comment below.
We will try. So once we start generating more comments and things like that, whether you put it in the comments publicly or you want to just DM it to either of us on Instagram, you could definitely do that
Twitter
as well, or Twitter. We'll choose a random selection of comments every week, or DMs every week to include at the end, and to kind of,
if you write us a funny story, I'm gonna read it.
We'll talk about it. We'll 100%. Share it.
We'll carve out the time. Moving forward, we're gonna try and make sure there's time set aside if there are stories and stuff like that. That way we get to talk about them and everything. Yeah, I think that's good. We're right on time. Kristyn, where can the people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Content by Kristyn. I have a blog by the same name as well. I had Twitter for like a day again, and I deleted it again. It was a whole thing. It really stresses me out. I don't know why.
I love Twitter.
I find it very toxic, and it just kind of scares me. So, yeah, that's it. Just those two places.
All right. You can find me at Shawn_Thompson on Twitter. Same thing on Instagram, or at Snowy's Monster on Instagram. Also, twitch.tv/Snowy's Monster. Same thing as the YouTube video if you're watching this on YouTube. Yeah, we can hang out, drop into the chat whenever. I love talking about all my shitty experiences. Unless it's a fun story I plan to share.
I'm often there.
Yeah, Kristyn's there a lot too.
But I
get there pretty often. I pop
once
or twice a week.
Frequently. Yeah.
Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. Means a whole lot. Helps support the channel. All that stuff. Also, if you're watching or listening on podcast services, please consider subscribing and consider leaving a 5-star review. It'll help us a lot. It'll make sure that this starts getting more play and stuff like that. Especially while we're getting started. We really appreciate it. I'd love to read them and stuff like that. Same thing for the comments. We're going to be checking them all out for now. While we can still keep up with them and all that stuff. So I
think, like, for me and for, both of us, we've talked about this, but
Nothing happened.
Audio listeners, Shawn just spilled his cider all over himself.
I was looking at the screen and trying to drink. And I have a drinking problem. I can't do it. It just if you know what that joke is from, leave a comment.
You're our kind of people. What I was saying before Drama Queen took over again is that we really just want to make a really fun, chill community. Yeah. It's all about like you guys chatting back at us, giving us your ideas. Let us know, give us the feedback on the podcast and on the YouTube video if you. Even constructive criticism, welcome. Heck yeah. If you're just going to be a negative shithead, fuck off. Even though that's exactly what we're doing for this entire series, is just being negative shitheads.
But if you're going to be negative and a shithead about this, fucking kick rocks. All right? If you're going to be negative but constructive, you give us like what we could work on.
Because this is our first podcast. So, for example, we could do things that don't translate well to audio.
Yeah,
or that don't translate well to video. So just
let us know. But until next time, this has been Between the Aisles. Thank you so much again for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye.